Yeah.
We
Hi,
have
everybody. Sorry.
we have attendees. Not everyone forgot that I'm back for one lesson after January.
Right, everyone, welcome to the last session of the yoga in the block that was meant to end in December. So just before I hand you over to Annie, it was just to remind you that if you can donate £3 towards this evening session, it'd be very welcome. Of course, our support is free, and we rely wholly on donations. So if you can, please go to our GoFundMe page and you'll find it under Help Us to Help Others. I hope you enjoy this evening's session, and just to remind you that it is recorded. You'll only be able to see Annie on screen, and once this block is finished, we will be uploading the series to YouTube. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. We're sitting there waiting for everyone to join, and I was like, is it just going to be me there? But then everyone popped on, so that's nice. It's good. Happy New Year, everybody. As usual, I'll just do this quick disclaimer that we always do, just to get it out of the way, and then I can check in with you all properly, okay? So when practicing yoga online, it is up to the individual to assess whether they're ready for the class they've chosen, in this case, fertility yoga. Obviously, if you suffer from specific injuries or disease, it's best to consult with your doctor first. The practice of yoga asanas or postures requires you, the practitioner, to gauge the safety of your practice within your personal physical limitations. And it's definitely better to build up slowly rather than force or strain. Whilst one may feel exertion, one should also feel relaxed. The techniques and suggestions presented in this webinar are not intended to substitute for proper medical advice, and you should always consult your doctor before beginning any new exercise programme. Both Fertility Network and me, Annie Perry, assume no responsibility for injuries suffered while practicing these techniques. That's the scary bit out the way. It always makes things sound like I'm going to be doing some mad hit session or something that you're all going to be having injury. It's just basically to say, if it's your first time doing yoga, let's just take it easy, okay? It's very, very gentle and very, very restorative, which is what I'm after with you guys, to restore your energies, to bring down stress hormones, and to get blood flow moving in all the right places that we want for you guys. I've just quickly looked at the attendee list there, and I do see some names that I'm sure I've seen on before. So thank you very much for coming back for the last in the block. And if there's new names there, then you're more than welcome to. What else was I going to say? It was a wee bit odd that we never finished up before Christmas there. So sorry for that, but we'll finish up tonight. So if you've had a recent retrieval or transfer, if you're going through treatment, then I just would like to say, just don't do the physical postures tonight, okay? I know it's like if you've signed up and then you think, oh, it's not suitable, but that's the one kind of stipulation that I say, 48 hours of no physical yoga. But of course, if you've just had a retrieval or transfer, you definitely need meditation, relaxation. So just do the breathing that we start with, do the relaxation at the end, okay, and do the really, really like postures like child's pose and things like really, really restorative during that 48 hours. Then after that, you're pretty much good to go. So if you're in a 2-week wait, you're good to go. What else is I going to say? So the sequence tonight is probably more suited to the first half of the cycle, okay? Not to say there's not going to be safe for the second half of the cycle, but in the first half of the cycle, when we've finished menstruating, we're leading up to a time of ovulation, your energies tend to be a little bit higher. So we're going to flow with that. But that, so if you're after ovulation and you're leading down to menstruation or a potential pregnancy, then your energy levels will start to naturally dip and wane. So that's when you really start to tap into more restorative side of yoga and more sort of very, very, nourishing self-care type yoga. That's what I'm all about. Like adapting a yoga practice for a woman is very, very different to, we don't operate like this. We can't do the same sequences all the time. We can't, our energy levels are completely different. And then of course, at this time of the year, there's a whole another level of complexity, I think, when we hit like real midwinter. So we're January to March is a really tough time of year for energy levels, for light, natural light we don't get enough of. So with all my like private classes this week, we've been really starting to think about how can we really nourish ourselves over the coming months and over the coming weeks ahead. Definitely, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't really think this is a time of, or like I was talking to all my clients about this week. This isn't really for me a time of let's reinvent ourselves, let's do all the New Year's resolutions under the sun, let's join a gym, let's, really hammer yourself, because I don't think it's the right time of year for that. Spring seems to be a better time for me for that, heading into summer. So just have a think about that over the next few weeks, and particularly for you guys, what you're going through. You've got that added on as well. So we've got whatever you're going through fertility wise. We've got deep midwinter. We don't have enough sunlight, enough vitamins from that. So think about how to nourish yourself over the next wee while. Okay, that's my little spiel for you. I just wondered if I had anything else to say. I don't think so. So we're going to keep it really simple. So we're literally going to top and tail our practice with the posture of Shavasana. Often we think of Shavasana when you hear about yoga as, just the lying down bit, brilliant. And it is, of course, it is highly nourishing, and it is the lying down bit. We'll top and tail our practice with that. So we'll start in that posture to signal to our bodies that this is restorative time, this is your time, okay? And then we'll go from there and we'll see how we go, okay? The last thing I've got to do, I don't see anyone asking me, I've just made someone, why you come? Sorry. Oh no, what have I done there? I've made somebody up on the screen there. How on earth have I done that? Hang on. Hiding on video. Sorry about that. I made someone come on there. Bridget, you probably got a heart attack there. Sorry, I had no idea. I wouldn't even know how to do that if I tried. So sorry about that. I was just looking to see if anybody had any questions. So sorry. No, definitely nobody's coming on to show everybody their moves tonight at all. It's just me on the screen. Right. That's all I was looking for, to see if anybody had any questions. So sorry about that, Bridget. Okay. Right. Oh, the music. Oh my God. There's always going to be something I'm going to forget. Right. A little bit of background music. Okay, right, that's me spoken enough. Let's do some yoga, okay? So just the last thing on that. So at the end, I did this with my, as I said, with my all my classes this week. We were doing like a New Year meditation at the end, but don't worry, it's not about setting resolutions or transforming your life. It's just a nice one. I'm going to do that with you guys as well. Okay, so just a simple centering, calming breath, okay, from Shavasana. So to get into Shavasana, think about everything you're doing, okay? Don't just think, right, she's told me to lie down, so I'm going to lie down. I like to get into it from Dandasana, so this nice seated staff pose. So my legs are extended out. I'm really taking my heels away from the pelvis. And then I'm going to sort of move the spine down from bottom up to the top of the head, okay? So bring yourself, use your hands to help. Begin to move your body down onto the floor. And then I like to have a little rest halfway on my elbows. Feel the pelvis connect. And then just bring yourself all the way down so that the back of the head connects as well. And don't start to then overly manipulate the spine. Just let the spine be its own natural curves. So we're feeling the spine you know, like the sacrum bone down at the pelvis. Then you've got your lumbar curve. Then there's the part of the spine up at round about, you know, where your bra line would be. Then there's a curve away again with the neck. Then there's the back of the head. Bring a looseness into your hips by bringing your heels a little wider, and just let the toes, let the feet kind of flop and do their own thing. And then bring the hands and place them on your belly. Okay, so sort of lower belly. So I would get your thumbs, find like where your navel is, and just bring the thumbs down a little bit and just have the hands there. So you often we bring our hands into like a lovely mudra when we begin our classes, like the yoni mudra, which is where the index finger and the thumb meet. But I want you to have your elbows on the ground if you can. So then just rest the hands wherever they are. I'm going to sit up so that I can talk to you a little bit better than lying down. Okay, so now is the time for you to start to do what we do in yoga. It's a thing called withdrawal of the senses, pratyahara, which is where we really signal to ourselves and our bodies that this is a meditation you're going to move into for the whole of the next hour. So this isn't, even when we're moving the body, that's still meditation. Okay, so when we start our practice like this, we try and withdraw the senses and turn within. Okay, so start to do that by, first of all, closing the eyes. That takes the visual senses away, and then you'll feel, as soon as you've closed your eyes, the sort of auditory part of the body takes over. So then you start getting distracted by noises and things like that. So try and even actively seek out those noises. Draw your awareness to sounds outside. Where I am, it is really stormy and blustery. So if it's like that where you are, have a listen to the wind outside, have a listen to the rain. Seek out those noises, and then gradually draw the awareness inwards so that you then just notice noises inside the room. And then you just spend a few moments noticing that. Then you begin to notice the noises of your own body. So that'll be primarily the sound of the breath as it moves in and out. And it's a really nice little active thing to do to bring you into a state of meditation. And don't worry if your mind decides it's going to go haywire on you, because as soon as I'm the same, as soon as I mention the word meditation to my brain, it decides it's going to have a party in there, and that's fine. But if you're using this technique of just noticing the breath and the sounds of the breath, it's just a little way to try and clear the mind. Okay. Now, I want you to draw your awareness to the belly and to the hands on the belly, and I want you to feel the belly rise and fall with the breath. So by having the hands here, it's an act of love, an act of healing, an act of warmth, and it also serves for you to feel the breath deep down in the belly. So the hands are rising and they're falling, rising and falling. And I want you to also imagine that with every inhale of the body, you are drawing in peace, calm, and healing. And with every exhale, breathe away anything that's been troubling you lately. That might even be as simple as a little tug of tension somewhere in the body. Just ask that to breathe away. Sometimes it's nice when you're visualizing that inhale and you're drawing that peace, calm, and healing in. Visualize that as something physical. So visualize that as a beautiful, white light, maybe just traveling into the body on the inhale. And really use the breath to exhale. And let's build on that now, okay? So I want you to now visualize that the breath is coming on the inhale from the soles of the feet, inhaling up the whole of the body to the crown of the head, filling you with light so that your body is glowing with light. And then on the exhale, like as if it's a wave on the seashore, visualize that breath moving down the body, dragging out tension and worries and stress and fear. Just visualize it moving down the body and away, as if you're watching the wave retreat back to sea. And you notice that with every exhale, that light that you'd brought into the body, it's not there on the exhale. There's a sullied version of that light on the exhale because you have maintained that beautiful healing energy in your body. And just continue with those wave type breaths for another, say, 5 deep rounds of breath. Don't worry if your mind goes a place, as long as you keep gently persuading your mind back to the present moment. Okay, so if you're ready, we're now going to invite some movement into the body. If you don't feel like opening your eyes yet, keep them closed. We're still lying down, okay? So I'm coming back down to join you guys. From Shavasana, I want you to bring your knees up towards your chest. Take your hands off of your belly and bring your hands round your knees. And just cup your hands round your knees, okay? So now I just want you to gently draw the knees into the chest. Now, add a proviso that if you are on stims, or perhaps you're menstruating, or perhaps you've got a sense of bloating in the belly and there's a sense of discomfort from this pose, just open up the knees to create space for the belly, okay? Otherwise, we can really give a nice squeeze, a gentle sort of signal to the belly that we're just giving a little bit of pressure, a little bit of blood flow there. And then after that initial sort of squeeze, we're then going to just bring the knees slightly out and we're going to begin to circle the knees. So the hands are still cupped round the knees and we're just going to circle round so that you end up feeling a little bit of pressure on the sacrum bone, on the back, down at the pelvis. Just adding a little pressure. It's actually like a nice little massage down at that point. Obviously no pain. We don't want pain anywhere in this practice. We feel achy stretch sometimes, but we don't feel pain. Go the other way. And then that will do us for our sacrum circles. So we'll just slow them down. And then we're going to make our way to all fours, okay? So we're doing this mindfully. We're not just flopping ourselves and thrashing our bodies around. We're going to just roll gently onto our side. We're going to bring one hand onto the floor, then the other hand comes underneath, and then we press into the hands, and then we sort of go under ourselves and we find ourselves on all fours. I've come away off my mat doing that, so I'm just doing a nice little side, a little wee sidey crab type back onto my mat, okay? Now, let's do what I don't think there's a week that goes by that we don't do this. We're going to do cat and cow, okay? And start to get warmed up. I remembered what I was going to say at the start. When I was talking about, sorry, we can just have a little break. So midwinter, January, nourishment, self-care. On a purely physical level, your body's colder, okay? So that means your muscles are colder, your fascia, everything's tighter. So just watch that when you exercise, watch that when you move through your practice, and just make sure that your womb is staying nice and warm and your feet are staying nice and warm during these months, January to March, okay? I think I've said it to you over the blog, but I just want to reinforce it because I knew there was something else I wanted to tell you. Socks, I mean, I know we're doing yoga, so no socks, but socks on a lot in the house, toasty little socks, even wrapping the womb. Like, see if you happen to have like a desk job and you're sitting, even if, especially if you're working from home or in the office, drafts getting in, little scarf tied round, like a pashmina scarf or an extra jumper. Just make sure you're tending to your body and you're keeping it warm and comfortable. Okay, that was what. Sorry, I always go on a tangent. I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you that. So we're back to all fours. So make your way back to all fours, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And let's get the pelvis moving in a really nice, gentle way. We inhale, we take the navel, like your belly button, and take it as if it's having a little dip down towards the mat. And then with this, we feel an openness through those sitting bones, and we gaze up. And now there's an openness through the chest and the throat as well. And then on your exhale, other way. So tucking under with the pelvis, taking the chin onto your chest. Exhale. And really, have that lovely openness through all of the discs of the spine. Keep going. Keep it slow. And really check in with yourself. There'll be areas of tension when you do a cat and cow that you actually might even not have been aware of. Okay, let's move the cat and cow into like another level. A bidalasana, like a rolling bidalasana. Okay, so we've been doing these cat to cow, right? So the next time you curl up into your angry cat, extend back and take your sit bones towards your heels, and then look along the mat, and then just hover a little bit, like inhale along the mat, and then press and curl up again. So it makes it a nice, so it's like almost a kind of mini child's pose in between. Rolling cat cuddles. Making a nice flowing movement. Warming the pelvis in a really gentle way. And then the next one, just make it your last and come up so that your spine's nice and neutral again. Okay, still all fours. And I just want to get the pelvis moving in a different direction now. So we were doing kind of tilting. Now we're going to go like a bit more of a kind of circle. So a softness in the elbows here. And we're just going to move back towards the heels, but not quite so far as we just did. And then kind of move out to the side, then round to the front, out to the other side. Notice the breath as well. Always just guide yourself back to the breath and remind yourself that we want lovely, long, slow, steady breaths. Let's have a little pause and let's take those circles in the opposite direction. Okay, and let's just slow it down and bring yourselves to neutral. Okay, next posture, downward facing dog, which we band around all the time. It's probably the posture you see if you've never tried yoga before. It's the one you see that people do all the time. So let's talk through it a little bit. Let's go. I think as well, even if you've been doing yoga for ages and ages, sometimes it's quite nice to break postures down again and think about. And down dog, there's like a million and one things you could be thinking about at any one given time. Okay, so the first thing is to have like what I call like gecko hands. Okay, so we're spreading the fingers. We're kind of pulling back a little on the fingers so that the palm of the hand like risen up, so you're not pressing the whole palm, you're kind of gripping in. And then when you come up, this shouldn't feel in any way like a plank. Okay, it shouldn't feel like, you know, shoulder, elbow, wrist. We should be pushing back and away. Okay, so there should be definitely like you're like a big triangle. Okay, so when you come up, remember that you want to push your body weight away from your wrist. Okay, so let's do that. Tucking under with the toes and lifting up with the hips towards the ceiling, and we'll push away from the hands. That's our first kind of thing. Then we want that lovely kind of triangle to continue up the spine. We want to have the head is quite relaxed and the neck is quite relaxed. So gazing towards your navel and having that sense of being relaxed. And the shoulders shouldn't feel like, oh, they're really tense and they're quite high up. Try and use that sense of pushing away from the hands to kind of relax the shoulders and draw the shoulder blades down the spine. And then draw your awareness all the way up to the pelvis. So remember when we were doing our cat and cow, and we're doing our cow position, and the pelvis like opens up with the sit bones. That's kind of how you should be. You should be, the sit bones shouldn't be facing the wall behind you. They should be tucking up towards the ceiling. So how does that feel? Harder in winter, definitely. The backs of the legs feel much tighter during winter. So just even bend the knee. Take a bend in the knee in your down dog if you need to. And then extend the heels back. Take your time. Let's drop down. And then what I want you to do is continue to drop down, take your bum onto your heels and move into child's pose so that you tuck the sides of your ribs in between your thighs. And then spend some breaths there, feeling feel that expansion of the ribs and the thighs moving away. Feel that sense of release through the sacrum and through the bottom of the pelvis. The hands are out in front, but don't invite tons of tension into the shoulders. Again, feel like they're drawing back and down. Okay. slowly make your way back up to all fours, and we're moving into a knee down lunge, okay? So we'll just go with our right foot forward first. Take your right foot and bring it up in between the hands. You use your hand to help if you need. And I always give you a couple of little variations here. So the first is to have your hands down on the floor at all times, like just to support, because you might feel you're quite a tense person through your hips and the back of your legs. But ideally, to just get the blood flow pumping a little bit more, we want to lift up, okay? So we want to take that support out of the hands and rise up. So we're pressing through the foot at the front, the back knees fairly far back, as far as your body will allow. Press into the foot, press into the knee, press into the foot at the back, so the top of the foot at the back, and then begin to rise up with the body. So we're pressing, rising up. Feel nice and open in the chest and kind of sink down a little more into it. This is where we're getting the blood flow really going. Sink down. And if you want another little add, sweep the hands up and above the head. Chest is open. You're almost inviting a little back bend in. So you're just opening up the whole front of the body and having a little mini back bend at the back. Okay, then come back down. We're going straight to the other side, okay? So we're doing it on the other side. So let's wiggle this foot back. Okay, and forward with the left. Place your foot nice and carefully. Have your knee above your ankle. The knee, we don't want it to sort of knock in the way. Okay, we're ready to sweep up. You don't have to. You can keep your hands on the floor for a little bit of support. Lifting and lengthening. Okay, and come down. And let's wiggle ourselves back. Okay, and then I want you to return to child's pose again. So nice wide knees, like a wide knee child's pose. Bring yourself back and drop down. A few breaths there. I think it's nice to mix a posture that's really quite intense and opening with one that's more passive, because then we can let the blood flow get moving again, go back, return back. Okay, so a few breaths there. And then return back up to all fours. Okay, so let's try and access a bit more even deeper stretch into the hips with a pigeon pose. Okay, everyone's different in their hips. I think, to be honest, if you're quite chronically tight in the hips, there's a big genetic element. So everyone's different. Obviously, you can loosen them off with yoga and everything, but don't beat yourself up if you can't go deep into hip openers. Because that's what pigeon pose is. So I always just take into it the same way, because I think it's a good way of kind of not launching into the full posture and just building up, checking in with your body, adjusting. Okay, so from here I'm going to take my left knee up in between the hands so that you can see what I'm going to do. So right now I've taken my knee up and my heel's underneath the thigh. Just take a little moment to extend the back leg back as far as you can. So really extending it back, okay? Just so that you can lift the foot up, the leg up and extend it back. Okay, then if you're anything like me, you're here and you think, doesn't feel too bad in the hips, it feels quite nice. We want to kind of go a little more. We want to be feeling it mostly in the glute of the knee that's forward. I'm taking my left knee forward, so I want to feel something going on in this left glute, which shouldn't be connecting with the mat, okay? Not in this, the variation we are doing anyway. So I'm going to just bring my left foot out from under the thigh and just wiggle it out. This is what I mean about, you know, doing things gradually so that you're really getting to know your body and what feels good, okay? So we want to pull that foot quite far out, but don't worry, you'll get to a point of resistance and your body will say, right, I think you've gone far enough, okay? We're bringing this foot out. So the hands are here for support, okay? Just now anyway. So I've not put my left glute on the mat. I'm rising up. I've taken this foot out so that my shin starts to become almost horizontal. Okay, but don't worry if you're nowhere near me. There's probably a lot of you that are further in the posture than me, and that's fine. Everyone is so built so differently. So we're just going to breathe here. We're pressing our hands into the floor just now. We're just getting used to this sensation of opening the hips. Okay, and you can even quite like to have a little rock side to side, just to get a sense of opening up the hips. Breathe, continue to breathe. So we can then add, okay? So you can stay here with your hands and on the floor, your body is sort of lifted, or you can begin to fold forward. So walking the hands out in front and folding over this leg at the front. So you can come down maybe onto your elbows. You may even be able to extend your hands all the way out and bring the forehead towards the mat. I'm not going to do that because you won't be able to hear me with my microphone. So I'm just going to go on my elbows. I'm just going to feel and breathe and enjoy this kind of achy stretch. We don't want sharpness or pain in the glutes, in the knees, nothing like that. Just achy stretch. Okay, we're going to start to walk back slowly with our hands and then come back up so the hands are on the mat. And just one last little addition, we're going to add a little twist, just a gentle open twist, okay? So you don't have to do this twist, you can just keep your hands as they are. I'm just going to bring my left hand to the inside of the left leg. I'm going to bring my right hand onto my right thigh, and I'm just gazing over the right shoulder. So this is, you can do a tighter twist than this, you can look over the other shoulder, but I think we'll just do this tonight. Okay, round to the front, hands on the floor, push and slide back, and feel that real blissful sense of release as you've done that, like sway your hips side to side. Okay. Excuse me, and you know what I'm going to say, we're going to the other side, okay? Or else we'll all be walking about with a limp unless we balance out these hips, okay? So right knee comes forward, up between the hands. And you know what, like this side, I feel tighter on this side, and you might be the same. You might do a posture on one side and think, oh, feeling quite good. And then you go to the other side and it's just not the same. Tends to be quite common that you've got one side of the hips that you've given a little favour to sort of unknowingly, so you might not be able to go as tight, or this might be your good side. Okay, let's do the little sway side to side. Feel into it on this side. Okay, and you can start to fold forward if that's what you want to do. And then we'll lift up. And we will do that nice little open twist. Okay, back round to the front. Press in with your hands and back up to all fours. Okay, so we're actually going to make our way up, and we are going to do a few standing postures. Okay, so how we're going to get there, we're just going to tuck our toes under, walk our hands back, just lift up, hang over into like a little rag doll, little gentle forward fold, flopping the hands forward, and then begin to curl up to standing. Okay, right, so like I said, some standing postures. Have a little drink, and you might feel quite thirsty tonight. We see when you do twists and things like that, you tend to feel like after you finish the practice, you might feel a little bit more thirsty. It shows you've done really nice sort of detoxy work into the organs in the back. Right, so I'm going to do a warrior 2 with just a different arms than we're used to. So warrior 2 is that one with the arms out like this, but we're going to add like eagle arms in, just to kind of give you a little bit of tension release through your shoulders, where we hold a lot of like stress and tension, and also cold tension, when the weather turns and you're cold and your shoulders start to go up. That's why I've added this in. Okay, so we'll just start off. I'm going to keep my left foot forward. I'm going to take my right leg back. Okay, nice big step back. I'm going to bring my left knee above my left ankle, and instead of facing forward to over this left foot, we're going to open out. Okay, so the hips are nice and open. All right, I'm going to go a little deeper. Just play around. You want to feel really nice and equal weight in both feet. Just play around to make sure that knee is above the ankle. Just begin to sink down. So again, this is a nice hip opener as well. We're open here, the heart's open. Okay, so when I show you these arms, I really apologize if it starts being a pain on my microphone. I've never found a way to teach this with the microphone here that doesn't do it. Okay, but I'll just show you the arms, and then I'll move my arms down so that it doesn't make a horrible sound. Okay, so like I said, usually in warrior 2 would be like this, which is lovely, but I want to add an arm thing for you. Okay, so start off like that. Take your hands out, then just kind of turn the palms so that they face the way you're sort of standing, and then bring your hands round and give yourself a hug. Put your right arm on top. Okay, hugging yourself. Okay, so you're just cupping the hands round the shoulders. Then take them away from the shoulders and bring the backs of your arms, the forearms, together. Okay, so we're drawing them together. And then if you can, left hand reaching towards the right palm. Okay, so this is where my microphone, I think probably. So it's like a lovely tight twist. Then once you've got that twist, rise up with those arms a little bit towards the ceiling. Okay. So you're sinking down into the posture with the feet and the knees and the hips sinking down, but the hands are rising up. Okay, release your arms, and then we're going to just sort of fold over this leg at the front. So we're going to take the left elbow onto the left knee, and we're reaching up and over with the right hand. Hips are still lovely and open. okay? Then lift up and straighten the front leg, moving into triangle pose. We're maybe a tad too wide for triangle, so just hop your back leg in slightly. Okay, so both legs are nice and straight. The hips haven't changed, they're still open. The top half hasn't changed. Slide down that leg at the front and lift the hand up towards the ceiling, making that beautiful triangle shape. Okay, and lift. I'm ready to go the other side. So depending on how you are in your room, you might want to still face at the top. I'm just going to turn. I'm just literally turn my feet so that now the right foot's forward. Go that little bit wider. Excuse me, that little step. Knee above the ankle. So it was warrior 2. Okay, so not 1 with the hips forward. Warrior 2, nice and open. Okay, so remember whatever way you did your eagle arms last time, made you hug yourself with your right arm above. Make sure you're doing it with your left, okay? And as I say, tell you how to do it, but I'm not going to do it so the microphone. Okay, open up, hug yourself with the left, and then bind your arms up so the forearms are facing each other. Okay, Garudasana, sinking down, lifting up with the hands. Hips are open. It's quite strong. So you can start to see why this sequence is more first half, because there's standing postures in it. You know, yes, we're moving really slow and we're still doing a very restorative practice, but it's just tapping into the energies of the first half of the cycle a bit more than the second, okay? Then what did we do? Release your eagle arms into side angle. So lean on that front knee, lift up and over. Side angle. Lifting up, straightening the front leg, little bounce so that you can come in and shorten your stance. Hips open, triangle pose. So the trick in triangle is to not fold forward, okay? We want to keep everything open, we want to keep the hips open, heart open. What shoulder? The left shoulder drawn back, okay? We're flat as a pancake through the body, okay? Okay, we're lifting up. Don't step up to the front. Let's just go to a nice wide leg forward fold, okay? So bring both feet forward. So I'm going to add in the arms bound behind the back when we fold over so that we're rising up. If I was like anywhere near menstruation or I was super tired, I wouldn't really be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that additional of the hands behind the head and lifting them over. I'd just be doing a really gentle forward fold. I didn't just flop my hands over, like more like that ragdoll forward fold, okay? So if you're feeling shattered and you don't want that, just do it, just sort of hang over into your wide leg forward fold, okay? If you want an extra little boost, bring your hands behind your back, clasp your hands and push them down and away so that you feel the chest open and the shoulders open, okay? Shoulders are down. Then hinge forward, and as you do, lift the hands up and over as well. Okay, and lift. My hands totally slipped. I meant you to keep them clasped and come up. Mine's just sprung open there, out of the blue. Okay, let's begin to walk our feet in, okay? And now I want to make your way onto your front. So let's do some prone postures. With prone postures, if you're on a 2-week wait, I would just skip the prone postures out and do child's pose, some more cat cuddles, some much more gentle kind of postures, okay? Otherwise, for any other parts of the cycle, it's really nice and really stimulating to come down onto your front and have just gentle pressure onto the womb space, okay? Let me just take another sip of juice because my voice always gets really dry and I end up coughing on you, so I don't want to do that, okay? Right. So this first posture is, again, we're linking those hands behind the back. So it's like a cobra, but with those hands linked behind. But if you feel that's really awkward and you just don't have, you're feeling really tense through your shoulder, it's just not working for you, just come into like a normal cobra with your hands on the floor, okay? This will all make sense when I actually do it. You're probably wondering, what is she talking about, right? So let's just make our way onto our tummies. So calm down onto your tummy and just come into a sphinx first of all, okay? Sphinx is like where you kind of start with these prone postures. It's really gentle. It invites a little back bend so you can start to see how that's feeling for you. So this is where we've got our hands out in front. Our elbows aren't splayed away out to the side. They're tucked in. Okay, Sphinx, you know the big statue, massive statue in Egypt. That's what you're like. You're like a sphinx looking over. Okay, so feel, how does that feel into the sacrum, into the back of the pelvis? That nice gentle stretch there. Your waist connect, okay? So from about, so the solar plexus shouldn't be pressed on the floor, that should be lifted, okay? But the womb is connected, and this is wonderful, this posture, for just giving that gentle like connection with your womb to the earth. Nice gentle little massagey type pressure, okay? So it's lovely. So let's just, I didn't actually plan to spend so long in this posture, but it feels really nice. So we'll just have a few breaths here. Okay, and then the cobra I was talking about. So that's when we slide our hands back so they're underneath the shoulders. Again, the elbows aren't always splayed out to the side, but we can push into the hands and still keep a softness in the elbows. But now the womb isn't connected, but the pubic bone is. Okay, so that's what we're feeling connected. Okay, so just bring yourself down, okay? Rest on your elbows till I talk to you. So the one I was talking about with the hands behind the back is much more intense than that, and it requires a lot more strength. So if you don't have the energy tonight, choose Sphinx or choose that cobra that we've just done, okay? Okay, so otherwise, if you want to try this, bring your hands out behind, clasp them at the base of the spine, feel that rotation through the shoulders, and lift the hands up. Lift the body up. And release. And then everyone can bring their hands under their shoulders and lift up and over into child's pose again. So bring the bum onto the heels and have several breaths in child's pose. Okay. So when you're ready, start to walk your hands back. So you're kind of sitting like I am sitting. And then we're going to make our way onto our back. So we've got another, really time for another two postures, then we'll move to Shavasana. So the first one is like little pelvic tilts. And we're going to do little pelvic floor contractions as well with these with these tilts, okay? Just again, it's a way to kind of get energy pumping in there, get blood flowing in a really gentle way, okay? So come onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, okay? And we'll begin these little tilts, okay? So let the natural curves, like we did in our Shavasana at the start, let the natural curves of the spine just sit. And we're going to use like a sense of pressing into the feet here as well. And we're going to lift up the pelvis, but I'm not talking lifting it off the mat. I'm literally, imagine you're peeling it off. So starting with the tailbone, peel. So take the tailbone up towards the ceiling and just peel the sacrum off so that really, I mean, to the naked eye, you couldn't see it, okay? You can't even really, maybe slide a finger or something under, and then you sort of place it back down. Okay, so that's the tilt. Very gentle, kind of rocking movement with the sacrum bone. And so we layer that in with an inhale and an exhale, and we layer it in with a pelvic floor contraction as well. So inhale, peel the pelvis up, squeeze the little hammock of muscles from the pubic bone to the coccyx at the back. And then as you bring the pelvis back down, release the pelvic floor. Okay, maybe two more. Okay, so then just bring the heels as close as you can really get them comfortably in towards the bum, basically. And make sure that your feet are hip width here and they're not dead wide and they're not too narrow. Make sure the gap between your thighs is going to stay like that. So the knees are below the thighs are strong. Imagine someone's put a big encyclopedia between your thighs and you've got to keep it there. So squeeze the thighs like that, but don't bring them together. Press into the feet and lift the pelvis up so that you can see air underneath. Lifting up with the pelvis so that you end up kind of perched up onto your shoulders in a nice bridge pose. And then we're going to make our way down from bridge, right? But don't do it yet. When you're coming down from bridge, I want you to really push into the feet and start with your knees. Take your knees towards the bottom of the mat. So take them towards the bottom, and as you do, you're kind of placing the spine back, but you're getting this beautiful sense of extension through the spine, and then the whole spine is placed. And then you can just extend one leg out, then the other. Returning, so there we are back in Shavasana position, ready to have a final relaxation together. Only thing I would say is if you've done that and you want to get more comfy and cozy, then you need to get up again, get your socks on, get your hoodie on, get a blanket over you. I'll let you do all that. So I would like to leave you a few moments so that you can get organized. Okay. So yeah, I'm obviously, this is the last of my sessions with you guys for the time being. So I feel like I'm sending you away with homework. I want you to really make it your sort of number one aim over the next few weeks, with whatever you're going through, to make self-love and self-care your number one priority. And I know you hear that phrase self-care all the time nowadays, and it's not just a bubble bath, like it's not that, it's really deep care for yourself. So please do that over the next few weeks. So I've got a nice sort of golden orb meditation for you here, sending you off over the next few weeks in a little bubble of healing and love, okay, from me and out to you. And I've got really nice self-love cards here. So I don't really prepare these cards because I always think I'm just going to choose them at random for you guys, and sort of believe that whatever little self-love affirmation I choose, it's the right ones for all of us who are practicing yoga together tonight. Okay, so thank you for joining me tonight, and I really appreciate it. And just before I start your Shavasana, just please give some feedback to the Fertility Network, so that whether you enjoy these sessions or not, just so that they know. Okay guys, right, enough from me. Time for your sacred Shavasana time for your deep release and relaxation. Okay, right, so into the position that we started our practice. So I won't talk through all those little points. You'll remember how we started the practice, and that lovely star web shape with a little release into the hips by bringing the feet nice and wide, allowing your feet to just flop out to the side. So we're lying down on the floor, spreading your body as if lying on a carpet of newly fallen soft spring. Feel as if you're being held in the great mother's arms, with her gentle support beneath your head, spine, and legs. Just as the ground holds your weight, are you willing to relinquish the weight of your world into the ground? Feel weight and heaviness of your left foot and leg. Feel weight and heaviness of your right foot and leg. Feel gravity down both legs, drawing your legs down to the earth. Feel the weight of your right hand and arm. Feel weight and heaviness in your left hand and arm. Feel the release of weight in both hands and arms. Feel heaviness down the back of the head. Whole body weighted, warm, and held and supported by the earth. Rest all parts of yourself to the earth. Surrender to gravity. Close down the blinds of your eyes. Each breath, a chance for the earth to move more deeply into your being. Attention now to the breath, how slow and even it feels. Be aware of any sounds within your own body, any vibrations. You deeper into relaxation. Imagine a band of golden lights spreading around your lower body. This huge band of gold expands outwards and enfolds you. When you're ready, take an in-breath, draw up into your belly the band of gold. Feel it swirl into this area, filling it with deep golden light. How strong the colour feels, as though the belly is pulsating with energy. When you're ready, take another breath. Draw the band of gold into the heart chamber and feel the heart center open to receive this golden light. Feel the freedom, space, allowing in this moment in time. Acknowledge and let them go. Feelings that may arise in the center. Drop the band of gold from the heart chamber into the shoulders, around the neck, and into the head. Golden light moving, swirling, dissolving, melting any remaining tension. A golden spiral of light is moving freely up and down your spine. You're entwined with golden light inside a golden orb. You're and relaxed. Fully open into this experience. Feel now the shoulders releasing forward, the neck and chin drop, the belly to totally release, the whole body completely relaxed. And in this time of New Year, we do not make resolutions apart from resolutions to fully care and love ourselves. So some affirmations now. If I follow my inner wisdom, I am at peace with my own being. I rejoice in my creative energy. I freely express who I am. And lastly, I listen with love to my body's messages. And just in addition to that one, on the back of that card, it says, I take a nice deep breath and release all resistance to healing. So you're going to need a few minutes to move out of this visualization. So I'll leave you to do that in your own time, because everyone is different for how much they need to take from this visualization. Perhaps already, perhaps you need much longer. So I'll leave the music just so that you can keep finding jiggling slowly. I am bowing to you all in love and gratitude, as I always finish all of my classes with. And I hope to see you all soon, okay? Remember to reach out on social media if you need me, okay? Take care.